Hi, I'm Alex Vipond. I'm a Vue developer, and I also wrote the book Rethinking Reusability in Vue. And in this video, we're going to do a deep dive into the watch flush option. When you're writing composables in Vue, a lot of the time you'll be using watch and watchEffect to set up callbacks to run after certain data changes. And if you're working with DOM elements inside your composables, it's really important to understand flush timing for those watch callbacks. Flush timing is a great tool for avoiding lots of tiny, unpredictable, really difficult to track down bugs that are a result of code running when the DOM isn't quite in sync. Maybe they're running too early, maybe they're running too late. In all those kinds of cases, flush timing can help you solve those problems. So there's three options for the flush option of watch. They can be pre, post, or sync. Sync is the least useful, I think. The main use case for this one, you can see a good example of it in the use ref history composable from Vue use. They use this to let you create super detailed undo redo histories of reactive references. But outside of that use case, I haven't seen too many use cases for sync. So it's more important, I think, to focus on pre and post and the differences between those. And so to help us explore that a little bit, I drew this simple little diagram, which is kind of like a magnifying glass into a Vue tick. So first, synchronous JavaScript will run in your composable or in your component, and it's going to update some reactive data. After all of that synchronous JS runs, Vue is going to run the flush pre callbacks. Flush pre is the default option for watch and watchEffect. And so Vue is going to run all of those callbacks based on the reactive data that was changed by your synchronous JS. Then after that code runs, Vue will update the DOM. And note that this is actually different from the browser repainting. So step one is that Vue updates the DOM, like the actual JavaScript representation of the HTML document. And then a separate step is allowing the browser to repaint and show visual feedback to the end user. All of this stuff happens in a super small amount of time, right? But it's important to make that distinction because Vue, the flush post option of Vue's watchEffect and watch, allows you to sneak some code right in between those two steps. So after Vue updates the DOM, after it reruns any v-fors and v-ifs and calculates new DOM elements and brings everything in sync, you can use flush post to run a callback right after that spot. And then right before the browser repaints and shows visual feedback. So this is when you're working with DOM elements, flush post is really useful for making your code run not too early, but still as early as possible. After the browser repaints, then Vue will run next tick callbacks. So next tick sometimes works when flush post is the right choice because it is technically running after Vue has updated the DOM. But if you want your code to be as likely as possible to be bug-free, you want to use flush post in those situations to make sure it's running as early as possible. So these are difficult concepts. They're hard to understand, they're hard to teach, and they're hard to get an intuition for what's the right tool at the right time. But hopefully this deep dive gives you a few ideas and a few rabbit holes you can go down if you are seeing some strange bugs in your own apps.